Hey kids, welcome back. I completed the ugliest boat ever built. It is the Zippkits Tugster brushless kit. I built this for a retrieval boat. It is brushless. It has a little 12 amp ESC. That is full throttle, but the thing weighs a ton. Get it up here close. I 3D printed a little pirate troll for the front there. It actually maneuvers really well. I got little flashing LEDs on there. Those are under the water. You can see him in the front. He's just a little guy. Might upgrade the motor, make him a little faster, just in case there's a boat emergency out there. But I built this to push in and retrieve my other boats. So it should be able to do that just fine. He's a cute little guy, isn't he? Oh, that is full speed. And he does have reverse, which doesn't work worth a shit, but it does have reverse. It's basically on the bottom of it, just has a little plastic push-on prop. It's not bolted on, it's not anything. Very easy kit to build. I think the kit itself was like 29 bucks, but it comes in a box this big. It's a wood kit. You have to build the whole thing. And I think start to finish, with the finish, epoxy coat inside and out, building it, painting it, the whole 9 yards, I think took 3 days, but I wasn't working on it the entire time, obviously. It comes with, if you buy the hardware kit, it actually comes with these two big lead acid 6-volt batteries that are wired in series. Parallel. There we go. And I took those out. Well, actually, they're still in there. I'm using them for weight because you need a lot of ballast to get this thing to plane properly. So basically, so it doesn't tip over. It really has nothing to do with planing, I don't think. You want the front end kicked up a little bit. I had weight in the front, and it was plowing. And let's face it, the fucking thing's slow enough as it is. So I converted mine to a 2S 5000 milliamp, and that is full speed. But for pushing a boat around, yeah, it might work pretty good, I think. So I might build a boom for the front with foam on it that, you can scoop the boats in, but I don't really think I'm going to need it. I don't usually drive my boats that far away, so I can usually see everything pretty close. So I'm just out here testing this. I was actually going to test drive Vader, but my steering servo got goofy, so not going to do that today. But so I figured, well, I'll just test out our little tug. I did a float test on it yesterday in the kiddie pool. Let it sit there full weight for about 3 hours, and there wasn't a drop in it. There's a little bit of water in there right now, just because when I was testing the ballast, it was really plowing down. So probably need a little bit more weight in the front. But honestly, I think it's kind of cool the way it is. I think we'll just leave it. I'll bring it up so we can see a close up. There's no water cooling in it. And it doesn't even turn unless the prop is going. It's a pretty interesting little boat. But it does have reverse on the ESC, which doesn't work worth a shit. Like I said. Let's see. Make sure there's no weeds. Oh, there's a lot of weeds on that prop. Look at that. I don't know if you guys can see that. That's pretty gnarly. That's what you get, alright? There we go. Very, very simple little boat. He's fun, though. It's a fun little boat. So I actually put a lipo tester on the balance lead because I'm just driving this thing around. We're just going to see how long it takes. I haven't really been timing it, but just a general idea. It's kind of fun sitting here. The wife and the girls are at the store, and I really wasn't planning on. I was going to test Vader, get a couple break-in tanks done, and test this while I was at it. And as soon as I went to go put it in, my steering servo came. I just had a brain fart yesterday when I swapped out the steering servo and didn't fasten it properly, and I don't have the right stuff to do it with me. So I'm just going to play with my tugboat. It's kind of cool. But again, I can't remember what the hardware kit was. I think it was like $100 maybe. And the little kit was $30. But the thing's got torque. I mean, it will definitely push around a boat. I'm half tempted to push Vader around just for fun, but if it fails, I don't necessarily want to go swimming either. So I suppose no time like the present. But I'd rather do it with a boat that has some power. That is full tilt. And yes, I calibrated the ESC. It's got a, the running kit comes with a 500 kV motor. I don't remember the dimension, but the same ones you'd use on like a 12-inch drone, like if you're building like a kind of like a DJI, only big. I remember building a 10 or a 12-inch drone one time, and I put 700 kV motors just like this. It's not runner style. Yeah, and a 12 amp ESC. I mean, obviously we're not breaking speed records here, but I think it's a perfect speed for a retrieval boat, unless you're sinking. This way you're not going to damage anything. On the front plows, I put a little bit of padding in there. I put my old radio link transmitter on here. And the reason you want to use a separate, I know I'm rambling, but I'm sitting here at the river doing nothing, and it's just kind of fun. The reason you want to put your rescue boat on a different transmitter is if you're running, say, a gas or a nitro boat. And let's just say you fuck up your collet comes loose and your shaft spins, but your engine's still running and for some reason can't turn it off. You don't want to use the same transmitter because while you're doing a high speed on your tugboat, you might be revving the living shit out of the nitro or the gas motor. Or if it's an electric boat, you might be screwing that up too. So yeah, kind of a neat little guy. I'm half tempted to just put some series batteries in here, give it a little bit more weight in the front, but I don't hear any beeping, so that's a good thing. Do a donut. Woohoo! I'm not sure how great this would be on a choppy lake, obviously, but, you know, I don't usually run on too much chop unless I'm back home at my lake, and then I've always got the pontoon or the kayaks if I need to go out and get him. But I have a 2S 5000 in here, so it should be pretty good. We're going to bring it in. I mean, you can only watch this shit for so long. It's kind of boring. I've just got the trigger totally squeezed. I'm not even messing with it. I don't know if you guys can see the lights, but I found some LEDs in my drawer. Don't hear any beeping. So that's how she sits without being under power. It's not sinking. Might need to shift a little bit of that ballast forward a touch, but I kind of, if you look at the way the hull's built, it's a big S like this, and you want that front to plow. Okay, very cool. There's my old dwarf pirate. Let's do a water check. Alright. See? Pretty ugly. Notice my sockets. I used for changing bearings in your rotors in your car. It's only down to 7. Something like that. So they are removable. I just hot glued them against batteries because, I mean, this thing obviously isn't going to shift a whole lot. Just for some fun, kind of neat. And if I need those big old sockets, changing a wheel bearing, I can do that. Pop them right out. The most boring RC boat video ever. Like I said, I just want to get an idea of run time on it. Like I said, 5002S, but you are pushing a lot of weight. I should check the motor temperature, I suppose, but who cares? It goes up in flames. I mean, nothing on it's water cooled at all. The motor's not water cooled. The ESC's not water cooled. It doesn't need to be. I mean, you're not kicking massive RPMs. What do you got? 500 times 9 volts? No. 12 volts? Not a lot. And if you put any more torque on it, you'd have to put a real prop on there because that little plastic thing would probably spin right off. A little trolling boat. Yeah, pretty cool. You know, it was one of those things all summer. I've got like 20 boats. Some pretty high performance boats and a lot of them that need to be dialed in, like that guy. And all summer I've gone without a rescue boat. I've just gone swimming after it. But, you know, it's getting cold now. Not cold, it's 72 out, but, you know, it's going to be fairly soon. So I figured, well, I better get my ass a rescue boat. So then the decision came, do I want to just go out and buy a cheap old ready-to-run boat, which would have been a whole lot faster, a whole lot cheaper. Well, maybe not a whole lot. This didn't cost me that much, like 130 bucks. It wasn't a big deal. Or did I just want to build my own little thing? And I love building boats. It's all about the build for me. I've got boats that go exceptionally fast and don't even tune them to go that fast. I just like them to go pretty quick, and I'm happy. You know, it's with me, it's all about the build. It's just fun. So I thought, I want to build a little tugboat. It'd be kind of cute. I might put some running lights in the cab too, and I can run it at night at my mom's lake. It'd be kind of cool. But again, it's, you know, I think it'll definitely push a boat around. I don't think we'll have a problem with that. It's definitely got the torque. It's got a nice little wake. Sorry, my head's been crooked. I'm using a new cheap-ass hat cam. Well, it's not new. It's actually the original one because when I was running my gas V across my mom's lake last weekend, I had one on the back facing the boat that way, and it popped off right at the end of the lake run, and it sunk to the bottom of the lake. So there goes that GoPro session, because otherwise that lake footage would have had front and rear. So this little guy's got pretty good range. This radio link's a really good radio. It's the RC4GS. I like my FlySky one that I use in all my other boats because it has boat mode, and it was just, I just liked it a little bit better, the functionality. But this thing, as far as range, cost, receiver cost, great fucking radio. I highly recommend this actually for RC boats. Perfect. Yeah, it's still not beeping yet. This part of the river, there's a bunch of families having picnics. That's where I usually go, over there. And it's Sunday, so there's tons of people where I usually run, and I don't want to run a noisy ass boat and disturb everybody. So I came to the bad luck side of the river, and you can actually walk across this right now. Where I go, it's really deep. It's about, right now, 7 foot deep. It's usually about 10, and you have to swim everything. Here, it's really, really shallow. But the reason I don't usually run here is because of that. I have some pretty big boats. I have boats that weigh 35 pounds, 40 pounds, whatever they are. And if sticks are floating or something gets stuck, bad things happen. I'll dent a prop. I'd rather run where it's deep and have to swim, to be honest. But today, all the family's over there and everything else, and I thought, yeah, this way I can just walk across. But I didn't have to run Vader anyway. This is kind of fun. It's relaxing. I was going to actually mount my FPV camera to the front of it and do some FPV. But I think that would be probably more boring than just watching it go like this. But you can get this at zippkits.com, Zippkits. I'll put a little link in the description if you guys want a winter project. I'm debating about building one and putting a little micro nitro engine in it. I just think it would be cool. I'd have to use a different shaft. I'd have to use a different prop. But I've got a couple RC cars that are 1/16th, real tiny little guys. And the engines are like, what are those fucking things? 9s? 0.09 or some crazy thing? Very, very tiny little car engines. And I could make the heads water cooled, wrap some tubes around them and put a little water pump. The neat thing about this boat is you can put a ton of weight into it because you need to anyway for the ballast. And I thought, how cool would it be to have a little tiny water cooled nitro engine in there and smoke coming out of the stack? And it would definitely go faster. It wouldn't go super fast. It would maybe twice this speed. I don't know. I might do that this winter just because I have all the parts. All I'd have to do is spend $30 for another wood kit and put it together. I mean, it wouldn't be a fun little experiment anyway. Wouldn't use it for a rescue boat, but I've been driving this thing for about full speed, if you want to call it that, 25 minutes on 2S 5000 milliamp. Let's let it sit here for a second. Yeah. So that's about it. We'll go ahead and bring him in so you can have one last look of my 3D printed Troll Pirate. Not taking on any water at all. Nice solid little boat, but it's also not exactly wavy. I've got a gasket that I put around there too, so it's I might move it to the sides, make it a little bit more tight, but in this type of water I could run it with the top off and it wouldn't make a fucking difference. Look how clear it is. It's absolutely gorgeous. Part of me is tempted to just throw Vader in the water and push it around, but now that I've got my battery depleted pretty far, I don't necessarily want to go swimming, so next time. Dwarf pirate. Well, my buddy says that dwarf pirate you put on the front isn't to scale. And I was like, well, no, he's a dwarf pirate. And that's exactly what it's called on Thingiverse. There he is. The Tugster from Zippkits. Now, the white that you see on the top, my buddy Pete, Space FPV pointed out. He goes, I don't like your white overspray. That's actually not overspray. I painted the canopy, or the top separately, and that was black, and I just didn't like how it was like wood grain black and white. So at the last second before I epoxied it, I sprayed it with a little bit of white just to give it overspray, to kind of, I wanted to make it look kind of old maybe. It did not fucking work. It looked stupid. So this is a retrieval boat. I don't think I'm going to change it. I don't care. It's cheap, it's fun, and who gives a shit? I got my old 3D printer pirate on there. I am going to move some of my ballast forward just a little bit, because you should have about, an 1 inch and 5/8 or something water line, and it should be somewhat level. So it is way tilted back, but you know what? In water like this, it doesn't matter. But I will distribute that a little bit better, maybe put it in the middle and the sides and just have that. I think the weight is good, but it's just not displaced proportionally the way it should be. So, but yeah, very easy build. I use spray paint on the hatch cover, which is the black overspray looking thing. Used white spray paint on that, and the bottom hull I just stained with, you know, a little tiny can of Minwax stain, and that was it. Very cheap build, and it's fun. You know, I'll put it on my bathroom shelf in the winter, and it'll look kind of cool in there. But if I build the diesel, well, nitro, which is the same principle, I do believe I'll spend a lot more time on it. Maybe make it look a little bit more realistic. Do some silver and maybe some rust lines on it. Put a little nitro engine in there. I just think that would be totally cool. So anyway, I've rambled on. I had nothing better to do today because I only brought my one boat with me, and it's FUBAR, and so I'm just sitting here in wonderful Troy, Ohio, fucking off with my tugboat like a little 3-year-old. So until the next time, kids, keep shine side up. Bye.